Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. It's good to have everybody here for today's interesting, special, and thought-provoking topic of simulation, and more particularly of the bigger question of, is everything we see around us a part of an advanced alien simulation created to simulate the universe and everything around it? I guess my first question would be for what reason? Because in this universe I still have to pay taxes and that feels very real to me. But outside of that, it is a thought provoking topic that I'd like to dive into with today's article, which talks about a physicist who's trying to create AI algorithms that prove that reality is a simulation, which is an idea that may sound a little crazy, but as said, it's a very relatively recent idea postulated by a Swedish philosopher named Nick Bostrom, who argued that humans are likely part of a computer simulation and that he created the idea of simulation hypothesis, and that we could be potentially a reflection of an advanced human civilization that could be simulating itself through the different time periods of our history and our evolution to try to understand itself. Or maybe it goes a little bit deeper than that. As said, this idea has been postulated by people like Elon Musk, who, as said, famously said it on Joe Rogan that got me thinking about it in the first place, but has also been a thing I've kind of thought about since I was a kid, because for me, one of my favorite all time movies has been The Matrix. And I said that movie is absolutely interesting. If you haven't watched it, go out to Netflix or wherever it may be and watch it right now. Like I said, all three of them. Very good story, amazing. As I said, it's got Keanu Reeves. He is the man. So, as I said, definitely watch The Matrix. But today I want to focus particularly on this topic alone, and particularly on the idea of trying to prove that we are in a simulation by talking about the work of Hong Quinn. And I hope I pronounced that correctly, who created an AI algorithm that predicted planetary orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, all by just putting data into it, right? He just put data into the algorithm and let the AI see if it could figure itself out to a point where it could predict the motions of these interplanetary bodies, which is impressive in itself because he did it without giving it the idea that laws of physics exist or that there are laws to follow when it comes to it. All it did, just raw data streamed into it, which is truly an impressive thing and truly an impressive accomplishment, because you got to think that this computer came up with all of this on its own. It did not have any guidance other than just, as I said, having the raw data input into it. So as I said, it creates an interesting idea. And the reason this relates back to the idea of simulation is because the physicist in this case, Hong Quinn, is postulating or making a hypothesis that reality is really discrete, right? And that data, by discretizing data, we can create algorithms that kind of touch on the edge of the algorithm that controls the entirety of the universe and the entirety of the simulation. And that even though, as he quoted himself here, that the CPU power of the laptop, of the universal laptop that might be running this advanced simulation, might be very enormous, the algorithm that governs everything we see around us is very simple, and that it was just let go and just like laws of motion, everything. It's just, you know, I said, I'm really giving you a really broad brushstrokes here, but I said it's a very interesting and fascinating, thought-provoking idea. And it said there's somebody who's already working on it and is applying a thing called discrete field theory, saying that, like I said, the universe is built on sampling, and it's like there's little pieces of data that just combine together to create the illusion of one continuous image. And I said, I am oversimplifying this. This is really advanced stuff, but it is also extraordinarily interesting because at a certain point, physics and fantasy begin to overlap in a new realm where you could just create and hypothesize almost anything you'd ever want to. And even when you think about, all the laws that we have applied or the theories that we've applied to our modern world, all of that is just some crazy creation out of out of people who at their time would have been considered mad for even suggesting such things. So who knows? As I said, it's truly thought provoking. It's truly interesting. I will post a link to this article below. Let me know what you think. As I said, I will do a lot more on this topic because I think it's truly interesting. I'm just scratching the surface. So I'll post both articles below. If you like this kind of content, Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. As said, it's always good to have everybody here, and I will talk to all of you again next time.